Get ready to set some boundaries. Welcome to the Hopefulist with me, Wendy McClure. This is where we turn those nasty, negative thoughts into positive and work toward a happy, fulfilled life. Now, let's get started. Hello and welcome. Thank you once again for joining me here on the Hopefulist. I'm always so grateful that you take a little time out of your life and let me be a tiny little part of your life. Did you know the Hopefulist is also a blog? Yeah, it's true. If you aren't signed up for the email list, you aren't getting them. So go to hopefulist.com/subscribe to get on the list and never miss a thing. Easy peasy. Hopefulist.com/subscribe. All you have to do is put in your name, your email, no spam, not ever, I promise, and you are good to go. Quote of the day today: you are not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. I love that. I love that. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. So many of us do that. So many of us just keep our mouths shut to keep the peace. Meanwhile, we're like raging inside. We're bubbling over with resentment. We are dishonoring ourselves when we don't say the things that we feel need to be said. Look, it's a tough time in our country right now with so much division. Makes it hard to figure out where lines need to be drawn when it comes to discussing certain things. Setting boundaries is one thing that can help in these situations. Now, the thing to keep in mind about boundaries is that you have to set them for yourself. You don't set them for others because that doesn't work very well. When you tell someone you don't want them to do something, well, they're more inclined to want to just do that thing. So it's especially hard when members of your family think differently about the way things are than you do. So there are a number of things you can do. You can tell people ahead of time, hey, you know what? Let's just not discuss politics. Let's not get into it. That you would love to see them, spend time with them. But if they bring it up, then you will let them know that you won't discuss it. You won't discuss it. And if they try, then you are fully within your rights to leave or ask them to leave. You set the ground rules beforehand, and they agreed to them. If you want to be less confrontational, just try to change the subject to something more pleasant. But, you know, there's always those people who turn any kind of remark into something political. It can get difficult. I know people like that. It's hard to have a conversation with them, to steer clear. You make an innocent comment about something, just trying to make conversation, and it gets turned into some political rant. Oh, yes. The need to set boundaries is something that is necessary in all aspects of your life. So when it comes to your home life, your relationships, work, hobbies, friendships, even yourself, you need to decide for yourself what you will do and not do when it comes to balancing your life. For example, when it comes to home, work, life balance, you have to set a boundary as to when you will focus on work and when it's time to go home. You have to make it known to your employer that you can work late occasionally when needed, but the majority of time you need to leave at the appointed time. You have kids to pick up, you have dinner to make, you have all these things that you need to do. Because once you let them start taking advantage of your kindness and staying just here and there, they will continue to push you. You have to be the one to tell them you can't do it on a regular basis, that it's only in times of emergency or extreme deadlines. When it comes to your home life, let those in your house know what you think you are capable of handling on a daily, weekly basis. Maybe it's time the kids started doing their own laundry or cleaning their bathroom. Let your spouse know that you can't cook dinner every single night. And if they can't pick up the slack, then come up with some sort of compromise. Maybe you can cook 2 nights a week while your spouse cooks for 2 nights, and then you order out or go out on the other nights. Maybe one night is for leftovers. There are compromises to be made. Then there's time with friends. Maybe you typically go out for drinks at happy hour, which includes ordering a bunch of appetizers. But now you're looking to lose some weight. Let your friends know you can no longer participate in happy hours, but would love to get together for lunch or maybe go for a walk instead. This can be a tricky one, and some people may not want to switch. It does change the whole dynamic. But that is something that you have to stick to when it comes to doing something for yourself. You are your top priority. You need to do what is best for you in the long term. And honestly, if your friend can't be your friend outside of happy hour, they may not be the friend that you thought. We all know that a walk in the park is not as fun as happy hour, but neither is gaining a bunch of weight and having a hangover the next day, right? Your friends should understand. There may be times that you have house guests that make you a little crazy. So make some boundaries with yourself. Vow to not let the little things get to you, like a messy room or leaving dishes in the sink or the toothpaste all over the mirror. How do people brush their teeth? I just don't understand sometimes. Tell yourself it's only temporary. Try not to let it distract you from having fun with your guests. If there are little kids involved and you're worried about your pets getting a little abused, well, set some ground rules up front. Tell the parents that when you see the kids getting aggressive with the dog, you will have to correct them for their own safety so the pets don't lash out at them. Let them know ahead of time so there's no misunderstanding when it happens. Maybe you should set a boundary for yourself. Stop thinking you can do it all and all in one day. I have a bad habit of thinking I will get so much done on a particular day, and often I get overwhelmed thinking about it all, and then I just find ways to distract myself from doing any of it. Obviously, that isn't productive at all. I talked about this last time. Make a priority list. What absolutely has to be done? Be realistic. Don't put too much on it. And how can you schedule it for yourself in a way that doesn't overwhelm you? Sometimes you have to let the house go a little and order out. Sometimes you need to prioritize the house and get the darn thing cleaned and the laundry done. Then you need to do that when work demands aren't as dire. You are the only one who can decide what is most important and when it's most important, because when you make everything important, nothing is important. Do you understand that? When you make everything important, then nothing is important. Balance. That's what it's all about. Sometimes just a little time, planning things out, could be a huge help. Always remember, you are in charge of your boundaries, and you need to take action when they are being stretched too far. It's up to you to keep yourself in line and make sure you are honoring the things that you say are important. I'm going to say it one more time. When everything is important, nothing is important. So you have to pick out what's really, really important. If you like today's episode, please tell a friend. Be a friend and tell a friend. And make sure you follow, like, or subscribe to the podcast. You will get notified whenever a new one is available. How exciting and cool is that? Now, I want you to go on out there and be badass this week. I'm always here cheering you on. Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist. Now, don't you feel good? Make sure you come back next week. See you then.